Hello, 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 and welcome back to another episode of Shoot the Hoot Raw. Hope everybody's doing well. And personally, I'm coming in fresh off my very first NASCAR experience. And I gotta say, I get it now. I do. The noise, the speed, the roaring engines. At one point, I'm pretty sure I felt my internal organs shift slightly to the left. But hey, it was awesome. I enjoyed it. And honestly, today's cybersecurity topic has a lot in common with NASCAR. Things move fast. One small mistake can become a really big problem. And if you stop paying attention for even a second, things go sideways quickly. By the way, I saw 5 crashes. Awesome. Anyways, the thing you trust with the most, the thing. Because today we're talking about this thing that you guys love and trust. This little device right here. What is it? What is it? Ah, boom, it's the phone. Yes, the phone. It is the spot. The thing you trust with your banking, your passwords, your MFA, your email, your work access, and basically your entire digital existence. And guess what? Attackers know it. That's why mobile attacks are exploding right now. Where's my explosion? Do an explosion, 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 explosion. There we go. Boom, exploding right now, right? So because our phones create faster reactions, less thinking, and a whole lot of blind trust. So today we're breaking down smishing, MFA fatigue, fake apps, stolen phones, and why your mobile device has become one of the biggest cybersecurity targets on the planet. Because that's tiny little screen, this tiny little screen, huge, huge attack surface. So let's get started. All right. So today we've got on deck, this is our flight plan. This episode is basically one giant intervention for your phone habits. First up, our 5-minute rant, that small screen, big risk, protect your phone, because your phone is no longer just a phone, not at all. We're breaking down why mobile devices have become one of the hottest attack surfaces in cybersecurity. Then our cyber nerd update, smarter payments, cleaner workflows. We got ACH payment integrations, workflow improvements, smarter translations. Enough backend optimization to make database administrators briefly experience some joy. And after that, we've got our open mic Q&A. Your phone is smarter than your security habits. We're answering questions like, are texts safer than email? Is MFA still worth it? And what you should do if your phone disappears into the void. And if you got questions, throw them in there. I'll do my best to answer. But spoiler alert, panic is not the recommended first step if you lose your phone, right? Boom. Finally, our Hoot-worthy horror story. Uber 2022, the MFA spam attack that worked. I think we talked about this one time before, but it applies here big time. One employee, one phone, a flood of MFA prompts, and eventually one exhausted human hitting approve, which is a pretty good reminder that modern cyber attacks often look less like hacking and more like harassment. So buckle up, because today we're talking about that tiny little device controlling your entire digital life and why attackers are obsessed with it. So let's get into it. Let's start with a reality check. Your phone is no longer just a phone. It's your email, it's your banking, it's your password, it's your MFA, it's your work access, it's your camera, it's your conversations, it's your identity, right? Imagine this, imagine this. If aliens showed up tomorrow and asked, what controls human civilization, right? You know what the answer just might be? Whatever's in their pockets, whatever's in everyone's pocket. This thing right here, does it control? It sure the hell seems like it, right? And attackers know this. That's why mobile attacks are exploding right now, because phones are perfect targets. Think about it. You react faster on your phone. You think less on your phone. And you trust your phone way, 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 way more than you should. On a laptop, though, you'll inspect a suspicious email like it's like a detective. On your phone, though, you're half asleep at 11:47 p.m. clicking, yep, that's fine. I think I'm guilty of that. Anyways, and mobile devices usually have less visibility, fewer protections, fewer security tools, and a whole lot more impulsive decisions. Plus, guess what? They're always connected. Wi-Fi is down, but cellular's not, right? Boom, always connected. Work, personal life, banking, authentication. Everything flows through that little glowing rectangle, which means when attackers compromise your phone, they're not stealing the device. No, 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 no. They're stealing access to your entire digital life. And honestly, most people protect this thing with a 4-digit PIN, simple facial recognition, and blind optimism. That is not ideal. Mobile phishing attacks have grown dramatically in the recent years as attackers increasingly target phones instead of desktops and laptops. So if attackers know your phone is the easiest way in, how are they actually targeting people? How are they getting into it? So let's talk about it. All right, this is where mobile attacks get really, really effective because attackers have figured something out. People don't think clearly on their phones. They react. And honestly, we've trained ourselves to do it. Buzz, buzz, tap, buzz, buzz, approve, buzz, buzz, your package is delayed. Whoa, my package is delayed, right? Suddenly half the country is clicking links because apparently nobody can emotionally survive uncertainty about a cardboard box. This is called smishing, SMS phishing, fake tests pretending to be banks, delivery companies, password resets, security alerts, MFA requests. Oh my. And they work incredibly well. So mobile devices create urgency, right? I don't know about you, but my phone's ringing, or pinging, I'm checking it out. This small screen has fast reactions and minimal time to think. Hackers don't need you to make a bad decision. They just need you to make a fast one. And then after they make that fast decision, just what we have after another kind of attack. We've got MFA fatigue attacks. Ooh, I'm tired of talking about it. This one's nasty. Attackers already have your password, for example. You know what they start doing with the MFA turned on? They start spamming you with MFA approval requests over and over and over. Approve, go away. Approve, go away. Approve, go away. Approve, go away. Until eventually someone clicks approve, fine, whatever, go. Which is basically the cybersecurity version of a toddler asking why for 3 straight hours. Not to drive you crazy. And the scary part, these attacks, they work, right? Because eventually people stop thinking, is this legitimate? And they start thinking, how do I make this notification go away? Right? Especially at 2 o'clock in the morning. That's the psychology attackers are targeting, right? Not technical weakness, not, they're targeting your human exhaustion. And mobile devices amplify all of it because when you're distracted, busy, tired, multitasking, your phone becomes a reaction machine. And attackers love reaction machines. People will ignore 37 emails and instantly click a text that says your Netflix account may explode, right? Gotta upset that Netflix. So if attackers can manipulate you through these texts and prompts, what happens when the app itself becomes the actual attack? Now, let's talk about apps, right? Apps for your phone, because this is where convenience starts getting dangerous. Here's the thing. Most people trust apps way too much. If it has a nice logo, a clean design, and a 4.5-star review, people are basically like, yep, seems legit. Meanwhile, the app is in the background. What's it asking for? What's it ask for? You guys know. Camera access, microphone access, your contacts, your location, your storage, your soul. Oh my. And people still hit allow. They still hit allow, right? And attackers, they love it because malware doesn't always look malicious anymore. Sometimes it looks like a PDF scanner, a QR app, a flashlight app, a fake banking app, or some free productivity tool that nobody needed in the first place. And then after the MFE, the app stuff, what else do you have? You have this side loading. I'll be honest with you, I never heard this term side loading before. I did some research and I came across like, what in the world is this? So side loading, it's basically when you install apps from random places the phone specifically warns you about. That's like your phone saying, this might be dangerous, don't do this. And people responding, I'm going to do it anyway. So attackers also use fake app stores, malicious QR downloads, and phishing pages disguised as app installs because they know something important. Convenience lowers suspicion. The faster and easier something feels, the less people question it. And mobile devices make this even more horrible, make it worse because the screens are smaller. The warnings are shorter and everybody's in a hurry. So users stop asking, should I trust this? And they start asking, how fast is this will install for me? Go, right? That's what attackers are waiting for. Nothing says good cybersecurity decision like downloading the free Ultra VPN Pro Final Real Pack, right? From a QR code sticker you found in a parking lot. Not good. Mobile malware and fake apps continue to rise as attackers target users through unofficial downloads and phishing campaigns. So if all this wasn't bad enough, let's talk about what happens when someone gets physical access to your phone. Physical access. Boom. Now, let's talk about that moment everyone dreads. That horrible feeling when you reach into your pocket and you're like, oh, where's my phone? Phone's not there. And for about 5 seconds, you become Inspector Gadget. You're the detective. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, maybe it's in my car. Maybe it's in my jacket. Maybe I left it at the restaurant. Oh, no. Meanwhile, your brain is quietly starting to realize this could be really bad. Because when your phone disappears, your problem is just beginning. Remember, your phone isn't just a phone anymore. I've said it 1,000 times. I'll say it again. It's your MFA, your password resets, your banking, your email, your work access, your cloud storage, your digital identity. And if attackers get access to your email, it's like game over. Just things escalate. They escalate fast because email becomes the master key for resetting passwords, for approving MFA, for unlocking accounts, for resetting banking access. So one device can create a domino effect across your entire digital life. And this is why phones are now such valuable targets. Not because the hardware is expensive, because the access is so valuable. And honestly, a stolen, unlocked phone is basically a speed run for identity theft. which is why basic protections matter. Use strong passcodes. Use biometrics. Use automatic locking. Remote wipe capability has to be there. MFA apps protected separately when possible. Because here's the truth. Most people spend more time protecting their Netflix password than the device that controls their entire financial existence. That, to me, feels backwards. And guess what? Attackers know it. They know it. People will leave their phones unattended for 3 minutes at a coffee shop. Run up, get your coffee real fast, right? Now you're in line. Or 5 minutes at the gym. I'm doing this set and working out hard. Look at me bulking up. Or directly on a restaurant table. Quite frankly, people would guard French fries like classified government secrets, but their phone, they'll let it hang out there, right? So modern smartphones often contain enough information and authentication data to trigger widespread account compromise after theft. So I asked you, where's your phone right now? Here's mine, right? All right, but everybody's, before everyone goes into panic checks, their pockets and stuff, let's take a look at what's happening now inside of CyberHoot this week with our nerd update. Okie dokie. All right, this week is all about making CyberHoot smoother, smarter, and a little less. Why is it doing that? So big headline first, we added ACH payment support with Plaid and Stripe integration, which means more flexibility, better automation, and fewer moments where accounting departments stare into the void, waiting for invoices to reconcile, right? We also expanded our ACH and Stripe support inside the CyberHoot SDK because APIs are basically adulthood for software companies. Right? Now, on the platform side, we officially transitioned from our foundational 6 into our foundational 5 training experience. So we went down from 6 foundations down to 5, right? It's cleaner, it's simpler, it's more focused, it's modern, it's today, it's boom, it's what you want. Because honestly, nobody was sitting around asking for more mandatory cybersecurity training, but CyberHoot does it in a fun, entertaining way. They'll like these foundational 5. So we also improved our workflow management, smoother user table flow, custom phish approval notifications, and several backend cleanup improvements. So translation handling also getting smarter, right? The system can now automatically detect source languages instead of assuming everything starts in English, right? So, which is honestly a nice improvement because the internet contains approximately every language, every typo, and every possible way to break formatting. And of course, we knocked out a pile of bug fixes and performance improvements. Custom preview fixes, tenant badge display fixes, manager assignment fixes. Oh my, that's a lot. And then URL cleanup and database optimization, all done. So basically, less weirdness, and really isn't that the goal? Because good cybersecurity software should feel fast, clean, intuitive, and fun in all the right ways. So now that the platform is running smoother, let's talk about the questions everybody has about mobile security right now. But first, here we go with my but first. Boom, where we go. All right. But first, be the first to email hashtag timescreens10 to CyberHoot to ShootTheHoot@cyberHoot.com and get 10% off your next invoice. Type it in, click send, and get that 10. And if you're not watching live, no worries. Email us anyway. I may just give you the 10% off because I'm a nice guy like that, right? The only catch is that you're limited to 1 discount per month. It's funny when I said but first, it reminded me of my dad joke yesterday, which was what's the last thing that goes through a bud's mind as it hits your windshield? It's butt. So the butt there. All right, but I digress. All right, my kid's grown too. Maybe I'll do a little groan. We have a groan. Where's the groan? Where's the groan? Where's the groan? Where's the groan? You can do that one. It's fine. That works too. All right. Q&A time. Let's open it up because mobile security raises a lot of questions. Mostly because people are slowly realizing our phones are basically tiny computers carrying our entire lives around. So, and somehow we still hand them to toddlers to watch YouTube. So let's hit a few big questions. All right. Our first question I'll throw on the screen. Boom. Are text messages actually safer than email? Short answer, nope. Nope, nope. People trust text more than email, which is exactly why attackers love smishing. Because when people get an email saying your account has been compromised or, they get suspicious, right? And when they get a text saying your package is delayed, they click before the sentence finishes loading. Right, so big difference there. Attackers know mobile users react fast, and to the hackers, that's the whole game, for you to react fast. All right, is MFA still worth using if attackers can spam approval prompts? Absolutely yes. Yes, still use MFA. It's still one of the best protections available. The problem isn't MFA itself, not MFA. The problem is people getting annoyed and approving things that they really shouldn't. which honestly feels like the cybersecurity version of fine, whatever, just stop asking and stop annoying me, right? The better move in this would be use number matching when possible. That's better. Avoid that blind push approvals. And then teach users, if you didn't request it, don't approve it. Simple rule, massive, massive difference. All right, last question here. What should I do immediately if my phone gets stolen? This one, it matters, right? It matters. Immediately lock the device remotely. Trigger the Find My Phone. Change critical passwords. Revoke active sessions and contact your carrier if necessary. Because the biggest danger usually isn't the hardware, it's the access tied to it, especially your email, your MFA apps, your password resets, your banking access. And honestly, the faster you react, the better your odds of preventing a really, really bad day. So your phone is now one of the most important security devices you own, which means mobile security isn't optional anymore. It's important and it's personal. So speaking of MFA attacks and mobile attacks, let's talk about what happened when attackers used that exact strategy against a major, major company. All right, let's make this really, 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 really real. So back in 2022, Uber Technologies got hit by a cyber attack that started with something incredibly simple, an employee's phone. The attackers already had the employee's password, but there was a problem, MFA, right? So instead of giving up, they started hammering the employee with nonstop MFA requests. Approve, 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 over and over and over again. Annoying, I tell you, which is basically the cybersecurity version of someone repeatedly ringing your doorbell until you finally yell, "Fine, what do you want?" Listen, in a similar vein, this happens, right? I just answered a persistent salesperson who called me repeatedly until I kept seeing his name come up on the thing in the company. I was like, man, still calling. And finally, I was like, fine, I just answered it. And yeah, I'm looking at you, Joe. Looking at you, Joe. So believe me, I get it when these annoying things coming through. You say, I just want it to stop and go away. So in this case, once I answered my phone, the employee approved that request. They approved the request. That's it. No 0-day exploit, no Hollywood hacking montage, just human exhaustion. And once hackers got in, things escalated fast. Reports showed the attackers gained broad internal access they got access to internal systems, to Slack, to administrative tools, to security resources. And suddenly, one of the largest technology companies in the world was scrambling to contain the situation. Now, here's why this story matters, because this attack wasn't really about technology. It was about psychology. Attackers understood something very important. People stop thinking clearly when they're tired, distracted, overwhelmed, or like I said, annoyed, right? And mobile devices amplify all of that. Small screens, fast reactions, constant notifications, which means attackers don't always need to hack your phone. So they just need to have you click that little approve, right? So the breach here didn't happen because MFA failed. No, MFA did its job. It happened because eventually a human got tired. They got annoyed. Just go away and stop, right? So, and that, my friends, is the lesson in all of this. Maybe the biggest mobile security lesson of all is just be patient. So let's wrap this up. If there's one thing to remember from today, it's this. Your phone is no longer just a phone. It's your identity, your authentication, your banking, communication, work access. It's your recovery system for basically every account you own. And attackers know it. That's why mobile attacks are exploding right now. Not because phones are weak, not at all, but because humans are busy. We react faster on our phones. We trust them more, and we question things less, which is exactly why smishing works, MFA fatigue attacks work, fake apps work, and stolen phones become massive, massive problems fast. But here's the good news. Here's good news. Most of this is preventable. Slow down. Remember that pause? I love that pause. Slow down. Think before you tap. Don't blindly approve prompts. Avoid sketchy app installs. Protect your phone like it controls your digital life, because it does. It does. And remember, hackers don't always need technical brilliance anymore. Sometimes they just need your impatience, a little distraction, or one tired person hitting the approve button. So don't make their job easier. So, all right. So I do have a quick programming note before we wrap up. I'm taking off a short break from live stream for the next couple of weeks, and we'll be back live again on June 9th. So no episodes for the next 2 weeks. I've got a couple of weddings coming up that I'm really, really excited to and looking forward to going to. So, we'll have those 2 weeks off. Enjoy it. We'll come back on the 9th with a brand new episode. So I appreciate all of you being here today, and I'll see you back live on June 9th for another episode of Shoot the Hoot Raw. Until next time, I want you to laugh, I want you to learn, and most importantly, hoot up! Hoot up.